Dog and pony show politics is the distracting feature that keeps everybody divided and deceived. But even under their own political big top, there are inconsistencies, contradictions, and outright lies that need to be exposed if we're going to be about the business of speaking the truth. And as hard as it is for people to accept anything from certain outlets, like the Communist News Network, MSLSD, Faux News, or The Blaze, it's important to divorce yourself from the messenger and just stay focused on the message. The Blaze has released an audio recording that they recently obtained that appears to show Artem Sitnik, director of the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine, admitting that he tried to boost the presidential campaign of Hillary Clinton by sabotaging then-candidate Donald Trump's campaign. Even according to Politico, the connection between the Democratic National Committee and the Ukrainian government was veteran Democratic operative Alexandra Chalupa, quote, who had worked in the White House Office of Public Liaison during the Clinton administration and then went on to work as a staffer, then as a consultant for the Democratic National Committee. According to Politico, Chalupa was working directly with the Ukrainian embassy in the United States to raise concerns about Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, and she indicated that the embassy was working, quote, directly with reporters researching Trump, Manafort, and Russia to point them in the right directions. The Ukrainian embassy political officer who worked at the embassy at the time, Andriy Telezenko, stated that the Ukrainians, quote, were coordinating an investigation with the Hillary team on Paul Manafort with Alexandra Chalupa, and that, quote, the embassy worked very closely with Chalupa. The Blaze highlighted an email from WikiLeaks from Chalupa to Louise Miranda at the DNC. Hey, a lot coming down the pipe. I spoke to a delegation of 68 investigative journalists from Ukraine last night at the Library of Congress, the Open World Society Forum. They put me on the program to speak specifically about Paul Manafort. I invited Michael Iskov, who I've been working with for the past few weeks, and connected him to the Ukrainians. More offline tomorrow, since there was a big Trump component you and Lauren need to be aware of that will hit in the next few weeks. Something I'm working on that you should be aware of. The Blaze then reported that Sitnik, who eventually, quote, was tried and convicted in Ukraine for interfering in the U.S. presidential election in 2016, released a black ledger on Manafort during the 2016 presidential election that eventually led to Manafort's downfall. In audio exclusively obtained by The Blaze, Sitnik appeared to admit that he was working to boost Clinton by harming Trump's campaign by releasing the Black Ledger. Sitnik also essentially admitted that Trump was better for America than Clinton was because Clinton belonged to the establishment while Trump's focus was solely on promoting America. And we all know the backstory on that with Trump-Israeli collusion. Regardless of what you may or may not think about Glenn Beck, let's just try to deal with the content he's presenting. Here's that segment.
First of all, in April, former Prosecutor General Lysenko, the good guy, remember, that came in after the bad guy was taken out? He decides to give an interview with Ukrainian media. And in that interview, he makes a stunning comment. Quote, I don't know how, but the Americans got an audio recording of Mr., how do you say his name? Sitnik, of his conversation. Now that's the guy who ran the Anti-Corruption Bureau. He was resting with his family and friends now and discussing how he'd like to help Hillary. Huh. So the guy who is in charge of the anti-corruption, they caught him on tape talking about how he'd like to. Well, let me play it for you. Now this is the first time, strange because it's been out in the newspapers in Ukraine. This is the first time that we know of that this has been translated by anyone in the media in English. I just want you to listen. Now, the speaker you're going to hear is Director Sitnik, and this is what he said. Listen.
Я думаю, что да. Я ж ему тоже помогу. Не ему, а Хиллари помогал.
Тоді ви там трошки шатнули, да?
Ні, це так пишуть там.
Ну, мені кажуть, що Хиллари погано було, не дуже.
Wow, Clinton Foundation.
Ну, я наскільки пам'ятаю, ви говорили, що для нас навіть не було близько Хиллари.
Ні, Трамп же ж, Він чисто в нього внутрішні питання домінують над зовнішніми. А Хіларі це якби це із тих політиків, що вони гегемонія Америки в світі. Для нас це так лучше. А для американців лучше так, це те, що Трамп робить.
На зараз ці американські страховці, це баба, мужик.
Ми вже прилюднили дані про Манафорта, якого посадили. Манафорт ж був керівник цього вищого штабу Трампа. Його ж тоді це сторонили час, в тому числі за те, що ми почали на бухгалтерію, посадили там, на штабу 80 років позбавили. І для Трампа барабан, тому що у них система працює чітко. І коли були вибори, за неділю до виборів, FBI поновили розслідування відносно Хіларі. Вони рейтинг попав на 7%, і Трамп натяжкою переміг. Я таки не можу зрозуміти, що Трамп воює з FBI, і його доганяють. І якби не FBI, то він би не був президентом. Вони Хіларі погасили рейтинг на 7%.
Wow, that seems pretty kind of wow.
I'm curious to know what you think about this. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the Google Thought Police in the comments section below. Before you go, check out our new shirt designs in the shirt store. Here's the Beta Hates America design. Hell no, you're not taking my AR-15. And nobody needs an AR-15. Well, nobody needs a whiny little bitch either. And yet, here you are. And against all enemies, Democrat and Republican. There are over 90 other kick-ass designs in the store and the links in the description. Your purchase supports the message of freedom on this channel. If you get something out of this content, help me beat YouTube's censorship algorithms by liking and sharing this video. And while you're here, why not watch a couple more of my videos? Until next time, stand firm, stay vigilant, and for the sake of all that is right and good, stop giving your rights away to tyrannical psychopaths who want to destroy this country.